It was kind of neat. But Dylan Cool is a good guy, and I am blessed and excited to share the stage with him tonight. Please give it up. Stand up. Let's stand up. Let's give it up for Mr. Dylan Cool. Dylan! Diliandro. You got it.
Yes, sir. Will do. All right. And after like so many years of sitting in that audience right where y'all are, I'm finally up here. Can you believe that? This could be all over the place. Did you just mute me, Moss? I'll remember that. I'll remember that. So, like, after so many years of sitting in the audience, I'm finally up here going to be able to tell y'all my side. And I don't know where to start. I guess when I was a kid, yeah, I was a church kid. I went to Legacy Church, and then our pastor there left, and then we went out. It was kind of iffy from that point on. We were looking for a new house and all that, and we didn't really go to church all that much. Tried H2O. Sorry, I love H2O, but it was not it for us. Tried Crosspoint, and it was the place to go. So I don't know where I'm going to begin. I'm not going to lie. So I never did, as Mark said once, I never did any like meth on the side of the highway for like 10 years of my life or anything like that. I didn't do drugs. I don't drink or anything like that. But I did something in my eyes far worse than that, and I'll get to that. So just because I'm a church kid doesn't mean I did bad things, in my eyes at least. I did things I'm not proud of. Do I regret it? No, because it makes me the man I am. But so everyone has these, and I almost gave in to them. These worldly desires, these desires of your flesh that you want to give into so bad all the time, and it's okay that you do sometimes because God will forgive you in the end. So this didn't start long ago. This was earlier this year, actually. I was so close to giving in to those worldly desires. I was actually literally on my way to do that thing. I got into a bad influence earlier this year, and I was on my way to do something like that, and God stopped me dead in my tracks. And when I mean dead in my tracks, I'm talking about 30 mile an hour to zero. I hit a ditch, or hit some black ice and then hit a ditch, and I got a reality check. For about like the next week, it was the lowest point of my life. I was crying like every night, you know. I was like, man, what am I going to do? I can't afford this. I grew up in this truck, and I just sent into a ditch. I feel terrible. But I would be up at like 2 a.m. I'd cry myself to sleep at like 2 a.m. I'm not ashamed to say it. And I wouldn't go to church. And I'm ashamed to say that I wouldn't go to church and things like that. It was always, what was that? Well, it was hard to get out of bed after being up all night and fire calls, having to fight fire at 3 a.m. Not very fun at all. But I was up every night just thinking these thoughts. And if I would be willing to bet that almost everyone here has been in my situation where you're sitting alone with your thoughts in a room, maybe you got music playing. It's a terrible feeling because you can't escape those thoughts, and they put things in your mind that you really don't want, but you can't get them out. And at that point, you think, no one's there. No one, not your family, not your friends, not God, and no one. And I was there. It was like 2-3 months ago. It was not that long ago, guys. I was putting on a fake face up back there and over there in the high school room in the corner. I had a fake smile on. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm telling you, this little smile right here, it's real. I have God to thank for that. So I guess I can get started on this. I'm trying to kill as much time as I can. So one day I just got up. I was like, I'm going to go to church. I don't know what got into me. God got into me. That's what happened. But I went to church just out of the blue, and I'm going to go enjoy this. I don't even remember the sermon. I have it in my notes somewhere, but I don't remember it. And afterward, I got in my car, and I just started driving. And I didn't really have a destination. I just started driving. I put on some worship music, and I just started talking to God the whole way. And I talked about so much to him. And it wasn't like, dear Father who art, or, oh Father who art in heaven, forgive me of my sin. No, I was like, hey, dude, look, I messed up. You know, I know you're listening to me, and I know I shouldn't be saying these things. Like, I messed up and all that. I know you already forgiven me, and I don't need to be asking for it, or that I need to be asking for it more. But I ended up in Sulphur, and who else been to Sulphur? Okay, y'all been up to like the park, the Bromide Hill area? Okay, beautiful place. I went out there and I did a little bit of rock climbing and found myself a little cave, and I was just sitting in there looking out all across Sulphur, and I was sitting there talking to God. I was like, man, I don't know what I was thinking, God. I don't know why I was in that situation like a week ago, because you're sitting here, you're telling me it's okay, and I wasn't listening to you. I wouldn't believe you, and I escaped him for so long. I ran from him for so long, and I wish I hadn't, to be honest, but it is what it is. On my way back to Ada, I was just talking to him, and I was thanking him for everything he had done, for all he had given me, because I didn't realize how much I had until I was on my back. I had so much of my life that I should have been thankful for that I wasn't in that past month or so. My best friend, Daniel, wherever Daniel is, Mark, Chris, Abranda, all of the leaders here, I have them to thank for where I am right now, because if it was not for them, I probably would not have gotten out of that situation. They don't know it, but, oh, Brad, Miss Bradley. But I remember we had worship night, and it wasn't that long ago. And everybody up here went down to the auditorium, and I remember at the end of worship night, they asked us to come down and have a prayer, and I remember I was standing up there, and I was like, I want to go down there, but I just never did. Then I saw Ashley come down. I'm like, yeah, I know Ashley. Me and her are homies, and we said a prayer and changed my whole direction of thinking, and she made me realize that I had so much more than I thought. Morgan, when you said time flies, it really does, by the way. It's already like 7:35. I've had 5 minutes. I've already gone through like half my story. I'm not even going to lie. So I was on my way back to Ada, thanking God for everything that I had, so much that I didn't realize I had. And those little worldly desires I kept on talking about, I'm not going to mention them, but everyone knows what I'm talking about, or you should. Those were little blips in my life. It has nothing on what God had planned for me. Oh, no. It was far from it. So it did not stop there. He proved it. Like, literally, I was about like half a mile from home. I got my little radio sitting next to me. If you know me, I'm a firefighter. I love fighting fire. I don't start fires. Let's get that out of the way. I'm not an arsonist. So I get a call tone, and it's like, picket fire, we need you on route to yada, 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 a grass fire. I'm like, okay, cool, I love grass fires. Well, we had another one right after that. We went and fought that one, too. It was wicked. I was like, man, this is awesome, you know. I got home, and I'm thinking, I'm just jitty, like I am right now. I'm kind of like shaking. I'm like, that's so freaking cool. I just had a divine experience with God, and I get home, and he, like, blesses me with this thing that I love doing. Oh, no, it didn't stop there. Monday, get off school, going to work. Nope, no work. Call, fire. Like, okay, cool. So I went and fought it. Then we had another fire. It was in Conemaugh. Roth. I don't know how I got those two confused. Went and fought it. It was cool. And we went out, like, way far that way. I can't even tell you where it was. Oak Grove. Yeah, it was Oak Grove. All the way out there. I was like, man, this is so cool. That whole evening I spent fighting fire, which God knew I loved. And he made me realize that that was one of the things he had planned for me. One of. The very next day, I got accepted to OSU IT, which is the school I want to go to. I want to be a lineman, climb poles, and play with wires for a living, and get paid for it. But it took me way too long to realize that I had that to live for. And I want y'all to realize that y'all don't need to wait that long like I did. His timing, let's just talk about God's timing for a minute. His timing is perfect, impeccable. Like, it was like half a mile before I got home before the call tone went off. And then right after I got out of school, that the call tone went off. And then I woke up in the morning, I got the email. I'm like, yo, I'm accepting the OSUIT. This is cool. I was so excited. I was thinking, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, this is God doing all this, isn't it? Yeah, it was. But his timing was absolutely perfect. And if you go through something like that, and you have just a long talk with God, and you get back from whatever you're doing, talking to Him, and nothing happens right away, don't question it. Don't say, God, where is my sign? It's coming. It's coming. God's timing is perfect. He already knows what everything's going to happen, the way everything's going to go. So I got some questions here that were asked to me. How did things get to the point where Jesus came through? Things got to the point where, not necessarily in the service, just when I went on that drive right after, and I was just talking to him the whole way. It was, I think, on that strip from Roth to Sulphur. I'm not going on the turnpike. That's like too much money. I'm broke. On that little strip right there, I'm sitting there doing 60 mile an hour, and I'm just, just my whole brain just gets a wave, and I'm like, oh my goodness, God has so much more planned for me. How will this incident change your life forever? This incident made me realize, even at my lowest point, God is there for me, and He'll never leave me. He's always watching over me, everything I do. Those little worldly desires that you give into here and there, He's watching. That's not meant to sound creepy, but He knows. Everything you do, He knows, and I don't know what else to say. So it says, what do you learn about Jesus and His ways? So I learned to trust Him, and I've always had trust issues, always. I got into not necessarily a bad relationship, but a relationship where I resulted in a lot of trust issues with not just myself. I didn't know if what I thought about myself was true or not. I didn't know about what Mark was preaching in here. My little thoughts I was talking about earlier, they were telling me, you know what, this isn't real. This isn't, what Mark's saying isn't true. Oh, that was wrong. Oh, that was a big lie right there. He's always watching over you. He's always watching over me. And as hard as it may be to believe sometimes, when you're at your lowest point, you just wrecked your truck, whatever it is, you got your phone taken away. I don't know. What do kids go through that make them really sad? Hey, we have McDonald's at home, or have food at home. Hey, Mom, can we stop at McDonald's? No, we have food at home. That's sad, right? Yeah, for Mark's kids it is. For me it was too. Listen, I don't want to eat your spinach. I want chicken nuggets. What did I learn about myself? I learned to not believe the thoughts inside my head, the ones that put lies there. And that being said, some still get through. I'm not going to lie. They still do. But the Word and my phone, I have a little note section of just personal notes, and all of them are verses that mean a lot to me. And I just go through, I'm like, oh yeah, this is right. You know, how silly I was to think that. What a silly boy you are, Dylan. And when you believe those little thoughts you say about yourself, like, oh no, you're not good enough. You're not going to be strong enough for that. You're not going to make the cheerleading team. I wasn't trying out for the cheerleader team. Let's clarify that. Sorry to break your hearts. You didn't make the basketball team. You didn't play last night. Whatever it is. God's always there, and they're not gonna. Those little thoughts you put in your mind, they draw you further and further away from God. I almost did things I didn't want to because I thought they would satisfy me. Oh, Dylan, what were you thinking? And then, are there any Bible verses that you learned or found in this time that helped you? 1 Timothy 4:12, and this one's a pretty common one, I think. No, that's Isaiah. It's still pretty common. It says, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech and conduct and love and faith and in purity. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to do with my story or all of what I just said, but I still really like it, and I just want to say it. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Now that, I remember I got up to Sulphur, up on Bromide Hill, and I went through my phone, and I saw on the notes, and it was Isaiah 41:10. I read it, and I was like, yo, it was probably, Isaiah 41:10 was probably the turning point in my thinking. And I was like, oh, that's right. Psalms 31:24. I really like this. Be good of courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. All of you who hope in the Lord. I thought I had more to say, but it's already like 7:43. But so some advice I would give to someone in the same situation: take some time to yourself and talk to God, like I did. I went on that little drive. Go to your little happy place, wherever that is. Back before I could drive, I took walks out in my pasture. I think this big old tree. It's like a 7 foot around this tree, and I would climb it, and it was so cool. In fact, it's still back there, I'm pretty sure. But that's my little happy place. Just go wherever you feel the happiest. If it's driving, do it. If it's walking, do it. If it's playing basketball, do it. But just talk to him. Just don't you don't have to put your little hands together and close your eyes and bow your head. You can just be like driving me like, yo, this is kind of stupid what I did. I know you already forgave me, and I'm still going to ask for forgiveness and all that. Anyway, just talking to him like I would to my boy Levi or Alyssa or Mark, anyone. Just talk to him like he's your friend, because he is your friend. And let's say he didn't treat you the same as he did me. Don't ever doubt his timing. Don't. I've already said this. I'll say it again. His timing is perfect, and he has a plan for you. I mean, one thing that was said on, I think I heard it the other day. He created you in the womb or something like that. That was Mother's Day, actually. But anyway, he created you, every single one of you. I'm talking about like 80 kids in here? 90. There's 90 kids in here. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. But he created every single one of you in the womb, and he created you in his image, and he created you to do great things. Not sit in your room and cry at 2 a.m. like I did. And yeah, you're going to do that. But no, it's not what you're meant for. You are meant for so much more. And listen, you ever doubt yourself? I'm here. I've been there. Mark's here. He's been there. AJ's here. He's been there. Moss is here. He's been there. Caleb, depending on who you call him. Caleb or Moss. You're never too far from God. Ever too far from God. I think I'm going to go ahead and start the prayer. So if I could get everyone to bow their heads, please. So the first thing I want to do tonight is I want to ask you, if you haven't accepted God into your heart, do that. Listen, don't wait too long. Raise your hands. No one's watching. We're all here for you, every single one of us. Okay. I see you. You're all good. That's very good. Next thing I want to ask is anyone else going through something similar? Doubting yourself? Those little thoughts that go into your out of your head, I see you. Those little thoughts that go, I see you again. I see you. I see all of you. Those little thoughts that go into your head, they're not real. They're not true. God has so much more planned for you. Listen, I cannot stress that enough. His plan he has for each and every one of you, all like 90 of you, it's amazing. And he's got so many good things planned for each and every one of you. Don't ever doubt his timing. So, now, for those of you who are going through the same thing, Lord, I pray that you are with them, although they may turn a blind eye to you, as I once did. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you come back around to them. I pray that they will at some point, whether it be now or it be later, will trust and see, trust you and your timing. I pray that you watch over them and be with them until they see you. And when they come around, I know for a fact you will not turn a blind eye on them as they may have once have. Lord, I pray that you will welcome them with open arms. Lord, I pray that you will sit there kneeling, open arms, waiting for them to come back to you. Lord, I pray that every single soul inside this room, every 90 plus all the leaders, I pray that every single soul in this room and outside of this room can hear not just my story, but the message that I'm putting down. I pray that they, whoever it may be, realize that you are never too far away, no matter where they are in life. Please don't make that mistake. He is never too far away. I ask that you show them your love and your kindness, and I know you will. And it is in your name we pray. Amen.
You know, I know in those little moments when you're talking, you think, up here even, you think, man, I don't know if I'm making any sense. I don't know, oh my gosh, my time's running out. Let me tell you something. Did you do good or what? Let me tell you something, guys. I think Dylan understands. I think you guys need to understand. God doesn't need you to be perfect. He just needs you to be willing. Listen. God doesn't need you to be perfect. He just needs you to be willing. Like, hey, God, I'm here. Use me. That's it. He doesn't need you to be cool. He doesn't need you to be all of the things that you think he probably wants you to be. He just needs you to be willing. Here I am. Send me. Tonight, Dylan said, here I am. Send me. You did good, dude. You did really, really good. I'm very proud of you. It was awesome. So let's do this.